Hello boxing fans, right now I'm talking cruiserweights, I'm talking rematches, I'm talking Steve Cunningham versus Yoan Pablo Hernandez. So this is the rematch for the IBF cruiserweight title. The original was an upset after the fight was stopped from a cut from a headbutt. And I'm going to get straight into how I see this now. Steve Cunningham. He's had a very up and down career in his life, right? He's a good champion, but he's never been considered the best. He's always lost a few matches, but always won a few big matches. You see, he's never had it all his own way. Now, for example, he lost to great Polish name of the year, Krzysztof Wlodarczyk. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Someone help me out. But then he beat him in a rematch. I probably butchered that name. I'm going to apologise to any of my Polish listeners. He beat Marco Huck, but then lost to Thomas Adamek. He very fortuitously beat Troy Ross, but then lost to Hernandez. See, he's up and down, up and down. He's like, he wins a big match, loses a big match, wins a big match, loses a big match. So he's not the best, but he's up there. He's at the top level, but he's not the best at it. He's also no stranger to hitting the canvas. He's hit the deck numerous times in his career, but he's never been stopped. So he's probably got a decent chin considering anyone can get knocked down, but not anyone can get back up. Now, unfortunately, my personal thoughts on this fight are that Steve, at the tender age of 35, is at the end of his very respectable career. He seems a different guy to the guy that beat Marco Huck a few years back. Okay, we're going to move on now to Yoan Hernandez. See, this guy's a great amateur. He was in the Olympic team. He was a heavyweight, but then he moved down to his natural weight of cruiserweight. So he's had a good weight limit for him. He's mixed it up with people heavier than him. He's got a great speed advantage, clear power advantage, and he's got a good mental aspect going to the game as well. He's got a clear mental advantage going into this fight, and I'll explain that later. Well, I'll explain that now. Right, in the first fight, he totally bullied Cunningham. Right, and the rules state if a guy falls over after being knocked down, you call off the fight. So he's very lucky, this is Steve, to get through the first round. See, Cunningham was always firing his jab, and his jab's his best weapon out of range. He wasn't landing with it. All the better quality work, the volume, and the variation of punches were coming from Hernandez. Also, I thought, this is just my perspective on this, Hernandez for some reason seemed invincible in that fight, and Cunningham seemed destined to lose. I don't know why, it just happened, that's how I saw it. You see, Cunningham seemed scared of the punch straight after the first round. He never got into it, he never got in range, he didn't want to take any shots. You know, if you're not willing to take a shot, you're not going to get your shots off at your own. You know what I'm saying? So then, there's a lot of questions that need to be asked, about Steve Cunningham. Some include, can an old dog learn new tricks? And I don't know. At the age of 35, you're not going to learn nothing new. Can Cunningham force his game plan onto Hernandez and keep him at the end of a jab for 12 rounds? Can Cunningham take another punch? Who knows, you know? You see, I see Steve as a fighter that thrives off confidence, but when things aren't going to plan, his confidence suffers and his performance suffers. You see, for me, the most important thing is he needs to get Hernandez to respect him. Now, in life, you get respect from two things: fear, love, and we'll just say love and skill are the same thing right now. You see, now Hernandez does not have any fear of Steve, and even though Steve is very skillful, he's not as skillful as the Olympic boxer. So he's going to have to put the fear into into Hernandez. Right, if Hernandez comes forward and tries to bully Steve like he did in the previous fight, I think that it's easy to say that it's going to be a late stoppage for Hernandez. However, if Steve lands something big early and puts the fear into Hernandez and says, well look pal, you can come forward but I'm going to land these big shots and you're going to end up getting knocked out, Hernandez will have to change his game plan and make it into a chess match, which is Steve's best chance of victory. And the way to sum it up is Steve has to show Yoan that Yoan is not invincible at all. Steve needs to do something to make him grow in confidence. And that's his best chance of victory in this fight. So the way I'm looking at it, I think if Steve lands something early, he's got a great chance of keeping it as a chess match. And, you know, if he lands that jab, he's got a great chance of winning. However, that being said, I don't see that happening. Somehow throughout his career, I don't think Steve's a big puncher. I don't think he's a one-punch puncher anyway. I think he's more of a volume puncher. And the way he knocked Marco Huck out, Marco Huck seemed shattered, you know. He looked fucked in there. So I don't think he can do it. So I'm just going to say now, I think that Yoan is going to grind him down over the distance. I think he's going to probably knock him out of the 9th, maybe the 10th round. Yeah, I'll go 9 or 10. Knockout for Yoan. Stoppage. TKO. So tell me what you think about this fight. Tell me if you think it's a good match. Tell me who you think is going to win. And tell me why.